This right here, $8 for a fast food meal, $8 for McDonald's.
$16 for a burger, a large fry, and a drink.
I just went and got a meal that I normally get for $3. And tonight it was $7.
Customers are not loving those high prices.
$17 for 3 Filet-O-Fishes at McDonald's? Are you kidding me?
And here's the thing, McDonald's isn't alone. Take Chipotle, for example. They've raised prices between 4 to 5% to keep up with higher food and higher labor costs.
If you're hungry, guess what? It's going to cost you more the next time you go to Chipotle.
Company says they're raising menu prices by 2% in order to offset inflation.
The company didn't stop there. They hinted that another price increase may come in early of next year.
It sucks for like right now when I got to go to work, but I need something, but I'm going to have to pay a little bit more for it.
Taco Bell also increasing prices by 6%.
Taco Bell is huge in the U.S., with over 7,000 restaurants across the country.
$6.79 for a chicken chalupa taco.
Even Starbucks cannot escape inflation with price hikes hitting their menu in 2022. And it's not just them. Wendy's, Burger King, Jack in the Box, all the big names are feeling it too.
From 2019 to 2023, prices in this category are up nearly 28%. That's more than full-service meals.
But here's the wild part, McDonald's sales have actually been dropping. Their sales fell by a whopping 3.6% last quarter alone.
McDonald's reported a 3.6% drop in sales during the first quarter of 2025. That's the biggest earnings decline since the COVID pandemic.
This indicates consumers are cutting back. It's not just your favorite fast food joint, everything is getting more expensive. You probably noticed it yourself at the grocery store or at Target. Heck, even filling up your car is costing you more these days. But this isn't just about a burger or a burrito. It's about how the economy is affecting every part of your life. Inflation is hitting us all in the pocket. And if you're using your credit card to pay for these rising prices, you're not alone. In fact, Americans are carrying $1.13 trillion in credit card debt, an all-time high.
More than $1 trillion. That's how much it would take to get Americans out of credit card debt right now in this country.
Americans are still spending, owing a staggering $1.2 trillion in credit card debt.
And let's not even talk about the job market. Over the last 30 days, jobless claims have jumped by 10%. And it's not just in fast food. High-wage sectors are also shedding jobs. If your credit is not in shape right now, you're about to face even bigger hurdles. Getting approved for home loans, apartments, even cell phones is getting harder right now as banks tighten up. The system is stacked against most people. But here's the thing, you don't have to just sit back and let this happen. There's a way to take back control. I'm gonna show you how to fix your credit even if you're not rich.
The higher the credit score, the more money you save when you borrow money. So you want this number to be high.
Don't go anywhere. This building behind me, it looks solid. But underneath, U.S. banks are sitting on serious financial pressures. Banks are currently dealing with billions in unrealized losses.
Hundreds of small and regional banks across the U.S. are feeling stressed.
There will be bank failures, but this is not the big banks.
Mostly from long-term bonds that lost value when interest rates spiked. And these losses are no small issue. They are a growing concern for financial stability. And when banks are in this kind of position, they start tightening their lending standards. That means it's getting harder to get approved for things like home loans, car loans, and even credit cards. If you've tried to get approved for a loan and gotten denied, it's because banks are getting more careful with whom they lend money to, especially inside uncertain times like we live in today. And when lending tightens, it's not just the individual who feels it, it ripples across the entire US economy. People can't buy homes, businesses can't grow, and the entire economy slows down. The bottom line, you don't need a bank collapse to feel the effects. All it takes is a small pool of available credit. And suddenly, things become a lot harder even if you've done everything right. When interest rates were at record lows in 2020 and 2021, millions and millions of Americans thought we were going back to normal, that the economy was going to continue to boom, and that things are only going to get much, much better. But instead, what we've witnessed are interest rates rising, the cost of living going up, energy prices, rent, mortgage payments, everything has just gotten more and more expensive. The problem is that real wages have softened and in some cases even fallen. Now, I believe what we're going to likely see here is we're going to see a scenario where banks are going to become more and more cautious as consumers pull back, they're unable to make good on their debt obligations and their debt commitments, and we start to see credit scores and credit worthiness continue to fall in this country. You've heard the numbers. Inflation is up, the cost of living is rising, and banks are tightening. These challenges make it harder than ever to get ahead financially, whether you're trying to buy a home, get a loan, or secure a credit card. But here's the good news. You don't have to tackle these issues alone. The solution starts with one of the most important things in your financial life, your credit score, and that's where Doubly AI comes in. Doubly AI is a powerful app that helps you fix and build your credit in a way that's fast, easy, and most importantly, automated. Whether you're new to credit or working to fix bad credit, Doubly AI has you covered. With Doubly, you don't need to be an expert in finance. The app uses AI to automatically analyze your credit situation and take the necessary steps to improve your score. It works around the clock, fixing credit report errors that you might not even know exist. In fact, studies show that 70% of Americans have errors on their credit report, and most of them don't even know it. Plus, Doubly doesn't just identify issues, it actively works to add positive trade lines to your credit report, which can help you boost your credit score to help you get approved for credit cards, apartments, and even home loans. And it's not just about boosting your credit score. Doubly also protects credit, monitoring it 24/7, even for ID theft, making sure that your personal information is safe. Most users see a 34-point increase in their credit score for free. And if you go premium, you could see a boost of 82 points or more. That makes it easier to get approved for loans, credit, apartments, and more. Imagine the doors that could open for you with that kind of credit boost. Doubly makes it simple so you can focus on what matters. Whether you're dealing with rising prices or just trying to get approved for your next big purchase, improving your credit is the first step, and it's free to get started. Click the link in the description below to get started with Doubly. Start improving your credit today and take control of your financial future. We've all felt it, that price shock at the checkout counter. It used to cost $50 to $100 to fill your shopping cart. Now you're lucky to do it under $200. And it's not just groceries. Across the board, from gas prices to rent, things are getting much tighter. And here's the thing, more and more people are being forced to rely on buy now, pay later services just to afford the absolute basics.
The U.S. economy is going in reverse. Americans are utilizing buy now, pay later loans to buy everyday essentials. Lee Waldman reports while these loans are not new, how people are using them is changing.
For context, 25% of Americans are using buy now, pay later services for things like groceries.
25% of Americans who have buy now, pay later loans are using them to help afford groceries, and that number is up from 14%.
Think about it, putting essential everyday items on layaway in real time. And it's not just food, consumer debt is at an all-time high. As Americans struggle to pay their student loans, they also just got hit with a new rule. A judge just threw out a Biden-era rule which capped credit card late fees at $8. Before, they were $32 in most cases.
A Biden administration plan to cap credit card late fees at $8 won't be taking effect as expected this week. A federal judge in Texas temporarily blocked the plan after a legal challenge from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the American Banks Association.
So a significant reduction in penalty for not paying your bills on time. And it wasn't just credit cards, same thing with student loans, utility bills. Bills are basically optional as a whole the last 5 years in many cases. Now all of that is changing, and with it, so is the job market. On average, right now, credit scores across the country are falling like a rock. Let's talk about the bigger picture. U.S. household debt is at an all-time high. We're talking about $18 trillion.
And a new report from the Federal Reserve shows American household debt is at an all-time high of $18 trillion.
And with interest rates climbing, those payments are about to get much more expensive. Let's talk about how this is all connected. Inflation is draining savings and making wages feel smaller. On top of that, banks are sitting in huge losses. In fact, U.S. banks are sitting on a whopping $482 billion in these unrealized losses, nearly $500 billion.
Signature Bank marks the third largest bank failure in U.S. history. Regulators say all customer deposits will be insured in that case as well.
In the U.S., where some of the world's leading money managers are warning the collapse of another American bank could lead to a credit crunch and an economic slowdown.
Now, after everything we've covered, it's clear. The economy is putting more pressure on Americans than ever before. Inflation, rising debt, limited lending, these aren't just statistics. These are challenges many Americans are facing daily. If you're feeling the squeeze, you're not alone. But there's good news. You don't have to stay stuck. You can take control. And it starts with understanding where you stand financially. That's where Dovely AI comes in. The free app that's designed to help you fix and build your credit with ease. Whether you're struggling with credit report errors, trying to build your credit from scratch, or trying to protect your credit score from fraud, Dovely AI is your partner in the journey. So if you're ready to take action, tap the link in the description below to get started with Dovely today. Don't wait until it's too late. Start building a better financial future right now.